The evening she softly said, "I love you," while disengaging from our kiss felt different. At that moment, it didn't hurt, but thinking back, that whisper felt like a ghost in an abandoned place. I am Daniel. I am 36 years old, an architect and a secretive dreamer. I always thought love to be a gradual progression. Amelia, my wife then, was the most extroverted person. She did possess her flames. For over a decade, we built a life together complete with a tapestry of memories like family routines, dinners, weekend hikes, and late-night takeaways. But around 6 months ago, I noticed something was off in our marriage. Her phone being face down, laughing at silly messages, a sudden surge of make-believe meetings, and her posing as though she was on a catwalk. I decided to turn a blind eye on this one. Maybe she was dealing with some work-related stress that required her to vent, but the truth here was, the silence that hung in the air was a divide far too wide to bridge. Then came the message, a text message, an untraceable one. I remember inhaling deeply and then reading the words, "She's cheating on you, I can prove it. Meet me at Joe's Diner tonight at 8. Until that moment, I hadn't been in a situation anything like that. The text that I received made it sound like there was some truth to it. As I sat there waiting for Connor to show up, my nerves kicked in while my heart raced. When he called out Daniel, that was the moment I had been waiting for to start getting answers. Before anything else, I had to first find out who he was. With a calm face and a manner that seemed to want to soothe my racing heart, Connor began explaining how he would go about giving me the information. His calm was short-lived, because moments later he pulled out an envelope containing pictures of my wife smiling next to different men in various hotel parking lots. All the pieces of my world that had already been in fragments shattered to dust. Jared West is a cybersecurity consultant and the CTO at my firm. It came to light due to some of her business travel claims that there were personal issues going on. Her hotel bills alongside their text messages were very revealing. I could not make sense of who you are until it was as simple as looking at the pictures, which in this case was a lot of legwork. Your wife is a social media detective. Given that I'm looking through photographs for the very first time, I'm willing to bet that you're quite a wronged husband, he provided. Stunned and bewildered, I offered an explanation. The answer is a very simple no. The anger building inside me right now is barely being held together enough for me to say what I just did. All of the above was both absurd and surreal. My initial thought was, how on earth does this stranger know this much about me, and my life was a delusion while married ended up as the sobering reality. My aim is to take down Jared, and I assume you wouldn't mind dispensing some justice of your own. Now, it is apparent that I wasn't the only one affected. Nevertheless, in the aftermath of it all, everything felt absolutely unreal. The world I thought I lived in was completely shattered within the span of 5 minutes. While I waited for the next shocking event, a part of me hoped my reality could be salvaged, but that was not in the cards for me. In the following few days, I kept in touch with Connor. Along with our talks, he also shared with me the snapshots. Besides countless travels, there was Jared and Amelia sending endless emails between themselves using fake accounts as well. Although they tried to cover their tracks, it simply was not enough. By the third day, I had made up my mind. I tried to tell myself that I would confront Amelia. But until that moment, I decided I did not want to tell any kind of lie on behalf of any person. She greeted, humming, "Big day," with the only phrases that composed a full answer as far as I was concerned, while hugging a bottle of wine. I wanted to get into it a little further. What really struck me was only the meetings part and nothing else. However, the incomplete chuckle during her ashen face told the rest of us everything. The moment I heard "you're only having hotel meetings," that really got me. In my mind, the only thing running was hotel meetings with Jared? The complete absence of any form of communication or acknowledgement stood in stark contrast to the mixture of emotions filling the room. I still don't understand how, out of all possible choices, the entirety of the group landing on not speaking at all happened. Everyone stared at me as the silence dragged on. On some level, it was restorative. How long has this torture gone unsaid for? My instinctive guess was 5 months. Roughly, at that estimate, I could stretch the timeline to just above 10 months. "Oh yes, that's exactly how you relive moments," I said, "by planning our anniversary getaway while cuddling another bloke. Waking up only means—" Did it mean falling in love? I did not let her finish. With a married man, no less? And you had a spouse who would do anything for you? Her body language was odd and pointed as she folded her arms, as if she was trying to make herself look as small as possible in a desperate cloak of remaining dignity. "Daniel, you've changed. You're quiet and distanced. You're not the man I married." "Neither are you, the woman I married," I countered. "But I didn't go seeking another partner." Purgatory was the best way to describe those days. Both of us became eerie apparitions, like phantoms living in the same space, but existing far away from each other. No words of apology were given. No desperate calls for forgiveness were uttered. There was no motion, nothing, awaiting the cue for someone to take action. So I did. Everything was arranged, and with Connor's help, we collected a folder that was complete. It also came to light that there was a no fraternization policy at Jared's firm. If this reached the board, Jared was going to be in a world of pain. Furthermore, Connor also learned that some of Jared's corporate expenses were outlandish. He was shamelessly billing the company for personal affairs. Amelia's issue was similarly riveting. She had a job at a marketing agency which, for some reason, claimed to be family-friendly, centered around core values of a family. But boy, did they wake up call on who their senior executive was. Jared's company HR had a pretty good understanding, but not so much from Amelia's marketing firm. After all, secrets like that cannot remain uncovered for long. The combined enforced no-contact policy, which was stifling employees' creativity, was ample enough reasoning for him to get suspended. A suspension does not equal termination or any form of justice. For Connor, it means that they still needed to craft some real-life Machiavellian narrative for it to hold any weight. I attended the ethics committee meeting and posed as a whistleblower who had relevant documents regarding Amelia. I distributed sealed envelopes to all members containing work-compliant air travel requests, meeting calendars, and contacts with Jared complete with photos of his hotel stays during business trips, which were far-off hotel stays. 2 weeks post-suspension, Jared's company had had enough of him and fired him not only for the affair, but also for embezzling company funds disguised as romantic getaways. During the post-divorce phase from his friend Connor's wife, he lost everything, took the kids, and cleaned him out. What a roller coaster. Amelia was let go quietly. To resolve issues, I took a break for some time. As for her, Morrison was banking on avoiding further complications, though it seemed to me that whatever approach he employed, it was already too late. On the morning after, I went to pick up her divorce documents, which was the same day I witnessed her in tears. Her response didn't reason anything for me, and in her own words, "You already did," quoting me directly. Confusion. That is how she described the reason things didn't go according to her plan and why they went differently from what she had hoped for. In the end, no children exacerbated the achieving the divorce, and neither did her own limited possessions. The house? I won it. While the ex drove away with her car and some meager valuables, the rest of my stuff and cash stayed secure within the house. Woo, woo, freedom. During the next few months, I regained some weight, but I was happy to revive an old passion of mine, which was drawing. Sleep finally accepted my invitation. And most importantly, there is now the tranquility I have been hoping for around the house ever since the divorce. I normally spent time with him, Connor. Turns out he was going through the same things as me. That one time he invited me for coffee. I've been thinking, he begins. Do you ever think that sometimes the act of destruction is a way of setting something free? I nod. As for me, I don't hold any regrets, not a single step. He smiled. Good, neither do I. The last I had heard, Amelia was picking up the pieces of her life working at a boutique. Jared had supposedly relocated out of state and, from what I heard, was struggling financially and mentally. Now that's what I call karma. As for me, I'm still the same quiet person and dreamer, but now I also happen to be stronger and wiser. There are two sides to every story. Strangers can either create confusion or chaos. It is far more beneficial when strangers help you out in unexpected ways. For me, Connor was far more than the man who revealed the truth. Truly, he was the man who put my life back together to finally figure out my true identity. What many perceive as betrayal, I view as an opportunity to rebuild my existence. Instead of seeking revenge, I transformed the pain I received into something beautiful. Emotional struggles are incredibly significant, and this time there is no way that anyone can take them away from me again. The end.